Hello and welcome to Morning Brew on Hughes of the World. I'm the Hughes, this is the world. Well, it's a bit of it. Hello, how you all doing this morning? I just stuffed a load of cereal in my face because the last few days I've been doing the Morning Brew and I've not been having any breakfast before doing it. I mean, the show's gone on for like 2 hours, or in the case of the other day, 3 hours. I'm so hungry at the end of it, so I tried to just stuff a load of granola in my face. So sorry if some of it's still stuck to my teeth. I do apologise. Big shout out to the chat. We've got Martin Harrow in there, person impersonator. We've got Philip Crossy. We've got Diz, of course. Hey Diz, how you doing? We've got Saz as well. Warren Peace. Hello, hello. Liam Fairhurst, SG. Sarah Davis. Hello. Hello, hello. Gallifane Ren. Hello, hello, hello. So, if you'd like to join our friends in the friendly channel, all you need to do is hit the friendly subscribe button and wait for a friendly minute. And then you can join in, but be friendly. Okay, so today we've got a bunch of stories to talk about in the news. The big things I want to talk about is Nigel Farage's £270,000 from direct bullion, his biggest declared payment as an MP. That dwarfs the amount he gets paid as an MP by 2.7 times. Nearly 3 times what he gets as an MP. For like a day's work. Anyway, so he's there touting gold, the gold. Me and you, we just fucking buy it, don't we? We just buy it, spread it on our bread. Yeah, that's what we do each day. We get up in the morning, we go, oh, should we buy some gold, darling? Oh yes, we'll buy some gold. Let's buy some gold. He's a man of the people, really, selling gold. Talking about men of the people, Donald Trump has reported more than $1.4 billion in income from family crypto ventures. So that's $1,400 million. That's $1 million 1,400 times. That we know of. This is just a headline figure. Meanwhile, Iran has refused direct talks with US envoys, leaving the new peace-free framework uncertain, which is what it's going to be like now until Trump is no longer the president of the United States. And maybe a little bit on from that as well, because if the Republicans stay in charge, then the Iranians are just going to run rings around them. They're just going to laugh and say, yeah, peace, yeah, we're going to do peace, we're going to do that peace thing. If Farage is booted from Parliament, will he still own Refuck Limited? Yeah, I guess so. When James O'Brien was talking about it, he said that Refuck Limited, I don't know if it's still going, but I don't know if he's the majority shareholder still since last year. Something that I need to look into that. But there's no reason he can't be, or unless the Financial Conduct Authority said that he can't be a director of a company for 10 years or something. That'd be good. Also, maybe there's a criminal inquiry into the £5 million bung he was given by some guy in Thailand, who's a crypto billionaire. After which Farage went and spoke to the Bank of motherfucking England. Can you speak to the Bank of England about crypto? About your mate's little, your little thing? Say, Bank of England, please don't make your own stablecoin, because that'll make my mate's stablecoin worth less. And what's the advert that Farage was paid to do? Who's effectively telling people to purchase gold to avoid the tax man? Yeah, doesn't surprise me. Same people who say, we need to spend more on defence. Sorry about that. Sorry for that little commercial break. We need to spend more on defence. They say we need to spend more on defence. But I'm not going to pay for it. Not that my mates aren't going to pay for it. We'll get the plebs to pay for it. But the thing is, the plebs love this shit. We'll get into that. The plebs fucking love it. In the same way that... Do you know what it always reminds me of? The way people react around Trump and Farage. And all these rich bastards who are just absolutely taking the piss. It reminds me of the Spiny Norman sketch from Monty Python, where they're talking about the deadly piranha brothers, Doug and Dinsdale Piranha, who are based on the craze, and everyone's saying how nice they are and how kind they are and how generous they are. And one time, he was going to take me for a drag in the back of the car, and he said, He said he'd nail me head to the table because I had the mother-in-law coming round or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, what else have we got? We got I'm talking about the funding gap. Andy Burnham faces a £4.7 billion funding gap in Starmer's defence investment plan. There is a bit of an argument that Starmer's left a little bit of a poison pill here for him to deal with. And a maternity review has found major failures in NHS childbirth care in England, which we talked about yesterday. And the UK's households' real disposable income fell despite GDP growth. We know that the electricity grid needs a massive fucking upgrade. UK vehicles in the UK electric vehicle makers face a possible £1.4 billion post-Brexit tariff hit. And the US Supreme Court has rejected Trump's attempt yesterday to restrict birthright citizenship in a ruling that was 6-3, which is insane. Sorry, 6-3, is it 5? Or maybe it was 5-4. No, there was 6-3 for, upholding the Constitution. Yeah. Hang on. Sorry a sec. I've just got to send the message. I got a super chat. Yay. Okay. Farage is a bum nugget, says Liam. Yes, he is. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. That's very kind of you. Now, I'm sorry about this, but I am going to have to blow my nose. So what I'm going to do, right? I can't start why is it not starting the goal? Nothing's working this morning. I'm pressing buttons. on my mouse here and nothing's happening. I pressed that and nothing happened. I can't start the goal. Why can't I start the goal? Let's see. No. Still not letting me start the goal. Well, that's quite sad, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to just refresh my page here. Thanks for the info, Chris. Cool. 159 signatures on the early day motion now. That's from Gallifreyan event. That's way over a quarter of the MPs in Parliament. That's fantastic. Is it a quarter? No, it's way over a fifth. 1 in 5 MPs, and it's more people than are in more MPs than are in the Tory party entirely. And also, if you add on the Restore and the Refux and all that lot, and DUP, yeah, it's more, which is remarkable. Hopefully it won't get through. Right, I'm going to try and set the timer again. Sorry, set the goal again. No, it's just. Oh no, hang on. Oh, it worked. Yes, I only had to press the button 17 times and then it worked. Hurrah! Morning Dragons says Lost Mystery. Hello. Listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you. Oh God, there's a picture of Farage. Oh God, there's a picture of J.K. Rowling. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the papers. There you go. There's a picture of. Oh God, don't know what to do now. There you go. That's not too offensive. I don't think there's any particularly offensive people on there. So I'm going to go to the papers in a moment. Oh my God, what is even... Oh, do you know what it is? It's because I didn't have... Right. I think I'm having one of those days. What are you doing? I don't want it to show like... There you go. Oh, that's quite interesting, that actually. If I'm picking it up. That looks quite nice, actually. Anyway, you can look at that for a moment while I blow my nose. 1 second, everyone. I'll be back in a moment. Back in a bow. Well, that was exciting. What does the early day motion, Alexa? So it's a motion that's put in by MPs, not necessarily by the government, and they've put it in. Normally, these early day motions maybe get 10, 15 signatures on them, maybe 20 if you're very lucky. This one's got 159 on it, which is, I mean, it is remarkable how many MPs are coming out to say this is unworkable. This is absolutely unworkable. I really do recommend that as soon as this comes in and anyone tries to uphold it in any way, any kind of company, business, cafe, restaurant, bar, venue, everyone just piles on them and says, right, I'm taking you to court for not abiding by the guidance, which no one can abide by because it's fucking nuts. It's fucking absolutely nuts. I mean, do you know what we need to make a safe space for women? Everything. Everything. And that doesn't mean excluding men. It means getting men not to be fucking arseholes. And the problem is, they'll rather go. This is the equivalent of them trying to ban violent video games in the 16-bit era. You know, saying, "Oh, Mortal Kombat. You know, if kids play that, then they might, you know, try and punch someone else's head off, and then throw swing their skull and around the head by the spine, and then throw it in the lava." Yeah. It's taking a big problem that we have, which is the violence against women and girls, and instead of going after what needs to be done, which is re-education of boys and the end of the toxic manosphere and access to internet hellholes where children are taught that women are second rate and men are superior, and that you know, we need to look at the justice system, look at the fact that only 1% of all rapes actually eventually get to a custodial sentence, and that's just reported rapes, ladies and gentlemen. So it could even be, that number could be higher. The fact that most sexual assault is committed by somebody who knows the person that they assault, and the vast majority of it is men doing it to women. But you know, that's all complicated. That's all like, that takes a lot of hard yakka. What's easier to do is say, oh, well, what we'll do instead is we'll stop trans people using the bog. And that'll stop this epidemic of violence towards women and girls. GTA 6 is the one thing I'm looking forward to this year. Yeah, if it comes out. What if it gets pushed back to March next year? Although I believe you can actually buy it now, I think. But they're not making a physical version, which I think is a bit shit, you know. I mean, considering they're charging like $100 for this game, and we've all been waiting 13 years for it, you would think. Personally, Gallifreyman's sick of hearing about GTA. Fair enough. Going the video years that allow people to play as mass school shooters. These games are based on Sandy Hook and Dunblane, and there's not a damn thing the government can do. Yes, there is. There's always stuff that the government can do. But I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about back in the day when they banned 88 video nasties from this country, so adults couldn't watch them. Never mind children. It was just adults as well. You know, like everyone could not watch it if they were British, but if they were French or Spanish or Hungarian, they could watch it. Well, maybe not Hungary because that was kind of behind the Iron Curtain at the time. Anyway, but yeah, the point is that the pre-order now. Yeah, the whenever there's a moral panic about something, and it can be something that is actually a genuine problem, which makes a change. Normally, moral panics are about like either one-off crimes that they amplify to somehow represent the bloodlust of an entire section of society. When more often than not, it is you know, when it's a white person, it's a lone wolf. You know, it's a bad egg. You know, it's a rotten apple. But when it's someone of an ethnic minority or sexual minority or something, then it somehow they represent their entire cohort, which is amazing. Because I try and do that with boomers. I go, oh yeah, look at this boomer. Look at these vast majority of boomers doing this horrible thing. And I get screamed at. Not all boomers, Graham, not all. Imagine if I took the actions of one boomer and said that represents all boomers. We do that all the time for black people. We do that all the time for Muslims. We do that all the time for trans people. Yeah, it's a bit uncomfortable, isn't it? But yes. So let's talk a little bit about game progress peaked at Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda. Yeah, that was a very, very good game. Worst drivers in the US are in Boston and Seattle, says Dragons Marine. Fair enough. Tina, I know programmers in their 30s will retire off the completion bonuses. That's all right. They charge you £100 for the game, plus you have to pay extra to play online, plus you need to pay a monthly fee for PlayStation Online. It's too much. I'm out, says Tim. Yeah. Mortal Kombat or parents with their kids queuing up at midnight to buy GTA for their kids, then complain. If it's 18 on the box, you bought it. Well, that was the thing. Like when the original Grand Theft Auto was being developed in like 1996 by DMA Design, team in Scotland behind Lemmings. It was after there was a game called Carmageddon, in which you drove around a car. It was like you in the car, and you got points for running over pedestrians, like in Death Race 2000, and 2000 even Death Race 2000. It got into all kinds of trouble, so they had to replace the sprites of the humans with that you were running over, the people, and give them green blood instead. But then DMA Design were like, "Oh, sod this! We're going to give bonuses for taking out all the Harry Krishnas." Do you know what I mean? Never played GTA. Don't understand the game. Used to play Call of Duty, but stopped because online play got that bad. Wow. GTA is made by a British team, and Rockstar is a British company. Yep. It's one of the most successful British exports of all time. It makes more money. The GTA franchise makes more money than our entire fishing industry put together. Exactly. Parents ignore the ratings on games. Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with, if my stepdaughters are into games, I wouldn't mind, our 15-year-old playing it. I mean, it's not real. I think the age things on the age certificates on videos and on games and even at cinema, I think it should be up to the discretion of the parent or guardian whether they think their kid is mature enough. And it's good to have a guide so you know what's in there, but I think it should be up to the parent or the guardian of the kid to make a decision to see if the kid's mature enough to watch this stuff. And I think there's a huge line of hypocrisy of people my age who are now parents. They've got teenage kids, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want my kids going out and watching these violent movies." And like, that's all you did when you were their age. Or people who, used to take loads of drugs when they were teenagers, and now they've got kids. Like, "Oh, I'm mortally afraid of my kids taking drugs." And I'm like, you used to take all the drugs. Do you remember when you used to do? Do you remember all the drugs you did? You did literally. You made super hands look like a Boy Scout. Like, what the hell? How are you? What? But obviously when it's someone in their charge, they're like, "Oh, no." So I think there is a little bit of pearl clutching to this, but I like the fact that I can go and have a look at the rating of a movie and it can instantly tell me whether there's going to be blood or gore or sex or violence in it. Because I don't want to watch something necessarily with the kids that's got loads of sex in it. Because it's a bit awkward. It's a bit awkward watching a sex scene with your mum. And everyone forgets that Love Actually has got a lot of sex in it, because one of the stories in Love Actually is a sex scene between Martin Freeman and I forgot the name of the actress, but they play body doubles in a movie, and it's like one of the first scenes in the movie. You're like, oh, forgot about that bit. The new James Bond game First Light was excellent. Really captured Bond and made him feel relevant to now while keeping the charm. Oh, that's good. I hear the new James Bond game is just Hitman with the Bond IP slapped on it. Oh my god, the Hitman movie. Does anyone see the Dread? I think they made another one, but the first one with Timothy Oliphant in it, where they have like a barcode on the back of the neck, and that shows they're a hitman, and they go around shaving their heads and shooting people because assassins are a thing. I'd love a movie to make no fucking sense at all. I had Elite on the Spectrum. Was it the Blue Danube, isn't it? No, that's something else. Yeah, it is. No, that's something else. Yes, it is. No, that's the Blue Danube, isn't it? As you're trying to you're trying to get into the space station, aren't you? The space station keeps turning, and you keep turning, and then eventually you could buy something that would allow you to turn with the space station automatically, and you could glide in rather than smash into the side of it. I love the Assassin's Creed franchise because it's a mix of exploration and history, not just fighting. Love time travel. My dad did his best. We used to watch films with ratings beyond our age with him, and he would either answer questions or skip anything too much for me and my brothers. Yeah, I think it should be up to the parents. It's one of the reasons why it kind of annoys me that we have 18 certificates in this country. I think that, first of all, they're too high. Like, how can you vote or join the army? I know you can't go into active service, but you can join the army at 16. But you can't watch The Exorcist. I mean, come on. Wasn't there more about Titanic being rated 12A when it first came out because Winslet posed nude? Yeah. I mean, again, it's just it gets to the level of why are these people down in London, in Soho, sitting in a basement in Soho, which sounds a bit kinky to me, making decisions on like what movies I can take my kids to, or even better, what movies I can watch. Like this was for adults as well. Don't forget at the time. Anyway, you can't dock in on Elite without scratching your paint. You shouldn't be in space. Oh, if you can't dock on Elite without scratching your paint, I can join the army and have kids, but can't go drinking in pubs. Yeah. Yuri also carrier command. Atari ST on the Atari ST. Oh, they tried their best. Anyway, so yeah, I was doing a quick rundown, and we were just talking about Nigel Farage's direct bullion payment. And while I talk about this, don't forget that super chats are on. So if you want to get some confetti this morning, we need 5 super chats, and then we can get confetti. I'm finishing a little bit earlier than normal. I'm probably going to finish about 10:30 today because I have things to do and places to be. I laughed at The Exorcist, says Harry Flashman. Now, it's PMQs today at 12 o'clock, and I'm afraid I'm not going to be in. I've got some errands to run, so I'm sorry, but we won't be doing PMQs together. So you're going to have to watch it on your own. It's just a bit shit. Maybe I should set it up so you can watch it on here. And I'll just let it run. I'll just let it run on Parliament TV, so you can leave all your comments while you're watching it. Go, what a knobhead, and I just won't be here. How about that? Does that sound good? Should we do that? That'd be fun. Diz is going cold turkey, says Francis Winrow. Oh, don't want Diz to have to go cold turkey. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Let's talk about Farage. He received over £250,000 from direct bullion. This is £270,000. He's a brand ambassador. The payment was received in May and appeared in his latest parliamentary register of interest. It's his biggest single payment since becoming MP that we know about, because obviously he's a shifty little fucker and he doesn't always tell us what money he's being given, like that 5 million that seemed to slip through the cracks. His sum is double what he got in 2025 from the company, but cashing in from being an MP. Absolutely cashing in from being an MP. And I fucking hate this, because every time you bring it up, knobheads get in the chat and they're like, but not you, sorry, I meant just on like comments, sorry. And there's people in the comment section going, but what about Starmer and his glasses, eh? He got some fancy glasses. Yeah, do that. Logan's Run is 50 years old. First time I saw boobies in film. Jenny Agata. Jenny Shutter. No, Jenny Agata. Yes. She does get her boobies out. And also in Walkabout. Yeah. I remember watching that on Channel 4 as a kid. Yeah. Anyway, she also in American Werewolf in London as well. She was awesome. In the 1970s. Chris C, thank you very much for the £2 super chat for the amazing, wonderful Diz. Obviously, Jenny Agata is now in Call the Midwife, playing a nun because of all the naughty things she did when she was young. We went cold chicken, couldn't afford turkey. Very good, Faves. Very good. Did you hear about the cannibal who was late to the feast? Yeah, they gave him the cold shoulder. Is this Starmer's last PMQs, or is more weeks until they have their school holidays and go out on their BMXs and play. I believe there's 2 more PMQs after this one. So there's going to be one on the 8th, and then the final one of this parliamentary session, I think, is on the 13th. No, not the 16th. On the 16th. Let's when does this parliamentary term end for summer recess? The problem is you put parliamentary term and it might think that you mean to the end of the parliament, which is 2020. Yeah, so it rises on Thursday, the 16th of July. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So the 15th of July is going to be Starmer's last PMQs, I think. And then it'll rise. It'll rise. And it returns on Tuesday, the 1st of September, so we can enjoy the silly season. The silly season. 15th is a Wednesday. So, yeah. Sorry, I just can't add up in my head today. Okay, so, yeah, Farage. Promoted the idea of buying physical gold and putting it in pension pots. This is while he's under formal investigation for a separate 5 million gift from Christopher Harborn, Thailand-based crypto investor. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has reported more than 1.4 billion from family crypto ventures last year. His company's received almost $800 million from World Liberty Financial, a crypto venture he co-founded with his sons. The World Liberty income included more than $520 million dollars from token sales. He also reported $635 million from sales of Trump meme coins, NFTs and meme coins. Made over $1 billion from it, from fucking suckers, and those things are worth nothing now. Crypto has become the largest driver of his reported income because anyone can give any money they want to him. No oversight, no limits, no restrictions, no sanctions. And his administration has introduced policies that have been favourable to the crypto industry, including stable coin rules and reduced federal enforcement. Great, innit? Yeah. MPs are due to start debating the case for banning MPs from having second jobs this morning. Oh, good. Absolutely ban them. I'll do what Phil says, and any income gets taxed at 100%. But yeah, it is just disgraceful that these people go into politics just to feather their own nests, and it's really obvious to you and me because we fucking hate them, and we're like, yeah, that sounds like something they'll do. But for the people who love them, for the people who just want to fucking gargle their balls all day and night, you can't get through to them because you say, this guy's taken 5 million. Well, what about someone getting tickets to go and see Taylor Swift, eh? What about that? What about that? If they had sold the tickets for Taylor Swift on the black market for £5 million and pocketed the cash, then yeah, maybe there'll be some answers that need the questions that need to be answered. But here's the fact, right? You go to a gig. They have a guest list at all gigs. Every gig since the beginning of time has had a guest list. And on that guest list, there's a bunch of names. Some of the people can't actually attend, right? So they just don't turn up. And they know this is going to happen. So there are people on the guest list who don't even go there. The guest list costs nothing. I mean, you could argue that it could be worth X amount, but you can't pay to get on the guest list. You've got to be a mate of the band or be reviewing it for a newspaper or something. That's how I used to get into gigs, by the way. So when I was in Manchester working at the Academy, it was a venue. Obviously, I could go and see whichever bands I wanted or any groups or the Foo Fighters, Motorhead, fucking saw Eminem at the Academy. Oh my God. Just before he went fucking huge. And then after I finished working there, after finished uni, I went back to live in Liverpool, and I was living up in Old Park in Liverpool, and I reviewed gigs for the BBC Liverpool site. So the BBC used to have different regional sites on its website of like local stories, which was really great at the time. And like I wasn't doing it to make money because I didn't get paid for it or anything, but I got to see all these gigs for free. It was fucking amazing. Every gig I'll just turn up and go, yeah, Graham Hughes on the list. And they're like, yeah, come in, mate. I'm like, yes, get in. I was just happy to be there. And then I get home, I'll write 500 words about what the gig was like, and that submit it, and then that was it. Nice and easy. But yeah, so that's how I used to get in. But someone turned around to me and said, "Oh, you received, Graham, in those years, you received £17,000 worth of gigs." I'd be like, "Fuck off! No, I didn't. Those gigs weren't even full. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and I was promoting the band by being there. And when the fucking Royals or whoever get tickets for Wimbledon, right? For instance, or when David Beckham gets tickets for the FA Cup final, first of all, they can't sell them on, so there's no cash value to it. But there is a value to the venue or to the the people who own the sport to have these celebrities there. And I'm not saying I'm a celebrity, but I was writing stuff saying, "Oh, wasn't this a great gig by James Dean Bradfield or whoever?" Yeah, I just couldn't imagine the amount of grift that you would have to do. The number of gigs you would have to blag into to make up £270,000 worth of gig tickets. Gigs are more expensive than they used to be, but they're not that expensive. Yeah. Kind of crazy. Anyway, let's talk about the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has said it would not meet top US envoys Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff after they travelled to Doha. Iranian officials said ceasefire terms must be settled before talks on nuclear limits. The draft framework includes a 60-day negotiation period. The deal also covers shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran says it has the right to manage traffic on the strait alongside Oman. And Oman's like, okay. And JD Vance said Iran would not be allowed to start collecting tolls from ships using the strait. And Iran was like, bless. While shipping has partially resumed through the strait, it's still fraught with danger. There's still ships being attacked. Oh, they've got the insurance on these ships must be absolutely through up the kazooie. So this picture at the back here, that I've shown you that before. That's the pirate map of the Indian Ocean when I was traveling through the Indian Ocean in 2009, 2010, and it was the height of the Somali pirate situation. And it was when 2009 is when the Maersk Alabama was taken by pirates, which is dramatized in the movie Captain Phillips with Tom Hanks in it, right? And what happened as a direct result of that and of what was happening is the insurance premiums went through the fucking roof for these shipping companies because they couldn't go round Africa. And even if they go round Africa, they have problems with piracy off the coast of Nigeria anyway. So, really made no odds. I mean, you just end up spending more and more. More and more food, more on fuel for the ship, but also food, and the crew need to be fed and looked after by Cookie on board. So so they'll go through this area called the high risk area, and that's what that map shows. It shows that the high risk area for Somali piracy. And if you enter the ship into that area, you had to pay a premium for your insurance because it was on much more like the actuaries who go through it all and work out the statistics. Statistically, you are more likely to be taken, boarded by Somali pirates and have the ship ransomed, the ship and the crew ransomed. And we're going to see the same thing, and already seen the same thing in the Strait of Hormuz. If a boat wants to go through the Strait of Hormuz, yeah, they can, but the insurance is going to be up the kazoo, and then we're going to have to pay for it because the money is the only time money trickles down is when companies have to spend more on stuff because of daft, stupid shit governments have done, like the credit crunch, austerity, Brexit, not dealing with Somali pirates, invading Iran, and then they give the prices, they make the prices go up for us. That's the real trickle down. That's the real trickle-down effect. Their profit margins are squeezed, so they're like, well, we'll put our prices up then. It's up the wazoo. Something up the kazoo. You lose your place in the school wind band. I play the kazoo with my nose. It's an Americanism anyway. I like kazoos. L, I'm jealous. I don't know how hands work most days. Me holding something is a game of chance, as person impersonator. Martin, grifters make a weird voice as well. Tim says there was a German lady immigrant who did it. I took Indian, but I'm born here. I look Indian, sorry, but I'm born here. The shock hasn't faded yet, but I feel okay watching this, reading your comments. Oh, I'm sorry. Here is hope for an example. 76. Sign of the times, sad situations, but times will change again. People are just people. It's very easy, and Jenny Robinson just says Joss Ackland's spunky backpack. It's just one of the. That's either one of the band names that they come up with in Peep Show, or it's an expression in is it the name? One of the names of the drugs in Brass Eye? Is that Joss Ackland's spunky backpack? Can't remember. One of the two. I remember the Somali pirates making a really bad decision to attack a Royal Navy destroyer. Bad mistake. Yeah. Frank says, never smoked, never did drugs. I don't care if someone who is aware of the risks does either, though. I don't mind if people do drugs or people smoke. I've never smoked, never done any illegal drugs. But, I'm not... If someone else wants to do it, fine, as long as it's away from me. That's it. I just don't want it anywhere near me. So don't do it in public, Don't do it in public. Do it in your own house. Bring your own house price down. So talking of bringing house prices down, there's another news story this one wants to pick up on, which it concerns yet another motherfucker from this fly the flags dickheads. Or they raise the colours, lower the standards. So there's this gobshite called Ben Cullen, a principal player in the Raise the Colours Oxfordshire movement, and he's going to stand trial for making indecent images of children, being a massive pedo. This comes after Billy Allison, one of the founding members of Raise the Colours, has been charged with murder. Also, Ryan Bridge has also committed an assault at a Raise the Flags protest. And there was a man hit by a van in Birmingham after residents were taking down the Union flags put up by the anti-migrant group Raise the Colours, and he got his leg crushed. Meanwhile, is Robert Jenrick giving his thumbs up halfway up a flag like an absolute fucking twat. For some reason, because he supports Raising the Colours, supports all these pedos and fucking nonces and fucking murderers. There he is. There's Robert Jenrick. There he is, privately educated, of course. There, being a man of the people and putting a Union Jack up. And he's a gobshite, absolute fucking gobshite. And don't tell me that it's only a Union Jack from a Jack staff. It's just another name for it. It's like, in America, right? They have the Stars and Stripes. They also call it Old Glory. They also call it the Star Spangled Banner. Now, when I think of Spangle, anyway, but yeah, so there's different names for the same thing. It's just a nickname now. I know technically it's not correct, but don't put on your Tinder profile like you like to correct people. You're not going to get anywhere. Just my top tip. Never smoked, and there's longer out of my drugs era. Still drink, but nowhere near as much as when I went clubbing, says Martin. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like, if people want to do it, let them do it. But it just seems a little bit, insane in the membrane. In the brain. So where was I? I was talking about grifters, wasn't I? Grifters. Oh no, I was talking about the defense gap. Yeah, let's talk about this. So Andy Burnham is expected to inherit a £4.7 billion funding gap from Keir Starmer's defence investment plan. The plan totals £298 billion. Defence spending is set to rise from 2.6% of GDP in 2027 to 2.7 in 2030. The plan is still below NATO's 3.5% target, but that's for 2035. So, it's moving in that direction, isn't it? But nearly a third of the plan remains unfunded. And 1.8 billion of the gap, 1.8 billion pounds worth of the gap, falls in the next financial year. So, it does look like Starmer may have stitched Burnham up here a little bit. I don't know. Just seems a little bit like, oh, okay. The plan prioritizes drones, fighter jets, nuclear weapons, and ammunition stockpiles. And John Healey, the former Defence Secretary, says a clear date is needed for hitting 3%. Simon says that's a criminal offence, Mr. Gemprick. Thanks for posting that picture to the police. Yeah. But he won't go to jail, though, because he's very rich and posh. I quit drinking too. I'm adamant, goody two shoes. I hardly drink anywhere near what I used to. And the reason for that is I just hated the next day. I just couldn't function like I used to be able to. I used to be able to spring out of bed after having 1 hour's sleep after being on a fucking bender for a weekend and then get back to work. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't drive, obviously, but get to work or whatever I was doing. As you get older, that ability kind of sleeps goes away somewhat. Apparently, there were hundreds of thousands of people off work with mild anxiety who are going to pay for a new army. Okay. John Healey, who despite stepping down, has still not signed the early day motion. Yeah. I'm surprised Gemprick knew how to work a ladder. Usually has a man to do that. Yeah, and these are the people we talk about. Never done the dishes, never taken the bins out, never made a sandwich. So always had a man to do it. Always a maid or au pair. They have au pairs, don't they, rich people? You got the au pair to do it. Mammy, I want a packet of crisps, but I don't know how to open the packet of crisps. Oh, we'll get the au pair to do it. Okay. Unfortunately, since 1991, our armed forces have been hollowed out. It will take time to rebuild. Yes, War and Peace. That is a very salient point. You're absolutely correct on that. It is very, very true because we thought that we were entering an era of world peace. But then Vladimir Putin came along and everyone tried to be his friend at first, and you shouldn't try and be friends with a nutter because he'll only let you down, won't he? So yeah, we've got also some other stories. What else have we got? We got the Academy School pay cap. Bridget Phillipson, who's a bit of a TERF, so we don't like her, is expected to announce a £174,000 cap on Academy Trust executive salaries in England. It's fucking disgraceful. The Tories set up these academies so that their mates could make a fuckload of money. Executive salaries. What the fuck? Government approval would be required for pay packages above that level, and future executive pay rises will be limited to the same annual awards agreed for teachers. Nearly 100 academy chief executives earn more than £200,000 a year, while teachers are on fuck all. And they're at the coalface. The teachers are at the coalface. They're the ones standing in front of a group of 30 unruly children and trying to get them to calm down and actually pay attention for a moment. One Academy Trust chief executive was paid £530,000 last year. Fuck that shit. I mean, I go on about bloody private schools ad nauseum, but I mean, come on, please. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Or around a quarter of Academy Trust chief execs received higher pay than classroom teachers in 2024, 2025. Executives. What do they even fucking do? Do they just have a meeting? They have a meeting. They go to meetings. They sit there and have a meeting. Yeah. Anyway. So, what else? The domestic murder sentencing gap. We mentioned this yesterday, didn't we? So David Lammy is set to increase the minimum sentence for domestic murders. And this campaign was led by bereaved mothers. And the reason being is that if you got a murder weapon from your house and went outside and murdered someone, then you were transporting the weapon, and therefore it was more premeditated, and therefore you'd get a higher sentence. But if you're in the house and you went to the kitchen and took a weapon, a knife from the kitchen, for instance, and then used that to murder your wife, then it wasn't seen as bad as it would have been if you had gone outside your house and stabbed someone on the street, because you're not transporting the weapon. I mean, honestly, the hoops that lawyers and politicians and judges and all this have for centuries have leaped through to try and protect men from facing the consequences of their actions is quite remarkable. But the existing sentencing framework undervalues victims killed in domestic settings, and that's got to fucking change. Ellie Gould's killer only received 12 and a half years for her murder. Poppy Divvy Waterhouse's killer received just 16 years. Just 16 years for murdering a human being. That's nothing. That's fuck all. Do you know what I mean? It's a disgrace. Saz, thank you very much for the £2 super chat for a dizzy fix. Oh, thank you. Diz says thank you as well. I've started happy pills. They stop the deep lows. Good on you, Frank. Like I always say, when it comes to pills, it's my pills. You know, I hate the shame in medication. If you are in pain, there is medication out there for you. And people who go, no, I like to feel the pain. I like to feel the pain. All right, okay. You're a sadomasochist, that's fine, whatever. But don't tell everyone else that they can't take painkillers. Don't tell everyone else that they should just let the bones heal naturally after they have an accident, and not go to the hospital and actually get your bones reset. And so, no, just let nature take its course. So your arm's like out here somewhere. Michael Squires, senior Reform Refuck UK councillors, apologised for a social media post singling out a council employee who appeared in a recruitment campaign wearing a trans flag coloured lanyard. He's apologised. He singled out a council employee. Oh, what a fucking arsehole. You know the guy who said that Nigerians should be melted down to fill the potholes, and he got suspended? He's back, Sunderland County Council, City Council, sorry, he's back. Back in post. After writing one of the most horrifically racist things that any elected representative has written in this country. Not just in the last few years, but like in history. We talk about Elon, what's his name? Not Elon. What's the other guy? And Enoch, almost. Enoch Powell. We talk about Enoch Powell, don't we? And how he, his Rivers of Blood speech, right? But that was really bad. And that's why we talk about it. It was really bad. But fuck me. He didn't say that we should kill black people. I mean, he was talking about deporting black people. He was talking about the threat that black people posed. But he wasn't saying kill them. I mean, maybe there was a dog whistle there that you could argue. But he didn't say it outright. This greasy little motherfucker in Sunderland Council said it outright. He said that Nigerians should be melted down to fill the potholes. And he's an elected representative in Sunderland. What the fuck? What the fucking fuck? That's what refuck has brought us to. What horrible, horrible men and women. Meanwhile, over in Venezuela, the US has deployed more than 900 military personnel after their twin earthquakes. Another 800 personnel are stationed in Puerto Rico and Curacao. The earthquakes that struck last week, absolutely fucking devastating. Almost 50,000 people are still missing. It is going to be really fucking grim for the next few weeks as more and more stories come out about bodies being found. And something that we touched on last night a little bit was the South African. We touched on last night is there these during Geoscope with me and Ollie, and we talked about these anti-migrant marches in South Africa. So there was a deadline of yesterday, June the 30th, in which they wanted all illegal migrants out of their country. And this wasn't the Afrikaners, this wasn't the white Afrikaners. This was black South Africans telling other black Southern Africans to get out of their country. Really, really, really concerning. Really concerning. Migrants make up about 4% of South Africa's population. And the claims that migrants drive unemployment, crime, and pressure on services. Same arguments that they use over here. Same arguments, but they're not founded in any kind of fact. There's no facts, no science backing that up. It's just what people say in order to turn their attention on one particular group in society and say if we get rid of these people, then everything will be sorted. Chris C, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. The bigots have got too comfortable and they feel they can spout their toxic rhetoric without consequence. Time they were put back in the shadows. Yeah. Meanwhile, in Niger, they have criminalized homosexuality for the first time in its history. Now, you got to understand in the desert peoples of northern Niger and Burkina Faso and Mali, they have a very long and storied history of homosexuality and it being accepted as part of their culture. And because of a drive, not necessarily by clerics from Saudi, maybe that a bit, but more so it's money coming from America, from Christian evangelicals who want these countries in Africa, like Uganda, which is majority Christian. Niger is majority Muslim. So, I don't know what they're doing listening to the fucking Yanks, but these American evangelists, these millionaires who come over from America, they know they've lost the argument about LGBT rights in America. When gay marriage was passed by the Supreme Court, so it wasn't a case of each individual state passing the right for gay marriage. No, it was the rights of the whole of America. They were like, fuck this. Let's A, go after trans people, and B, send people over to Africa to get them to make homosexuality an arrestable offence. And since then, 40 people have reportedly been arrested. 16 men, including senior military figures, have been imprisoned. Same-sex relations can now carry prison terms of up to 10 years and fines of up to 100 million West African CFAs. Francs. It's their currency. It's tied to the euro. Viper Scott, thank you very much. Pegged to the euro, sorry. For the confetti time. Oh, yes, you're absolutely right. That allows me to pick up my box here. Pick up my box. And press the magic button. So cool. Thank you very much for that. So involvement in LGBTQ plus organizations or events can carry prison terms now of up to 20 years in Niger. HIV services for men who have sex with men have stopped operating in some areas. So the HIV rates are going to go up. Similar punitive laws have been also introduced in Mali and Burkina Faso. Really fucking grim. Anyway, Swedish defence company and car manufacturer Saab have signed a deal to deliver 16 Gripen E fighter jets to Ukraine. The deal's worth about $2.5 billion. Vladimir Zelensky said the deliveries should begin in 2027. Saab's timetable says deliveries are scheduled for 2029 to 2030. Meanwhile, Ukraine's top commander, Alexander Syrsky, said that Ukraine is preparing for possible Russian offensive action from the Bryansk region. So that's not great. Russian glide bombs have killed 2 people and injured at least 15 in Zaporizhia. And Denmark has announced a further military further military support package worth about $672 million for Ukraine. House prices. The house prices were flat month on month in June. Annual growth was 2.2%, below the 2.4% forecast. And prices had fallen by 6%. 6%. God, I wish 0.6% in May. So there's a shortage of houses on sale. Still likely going to keep pressure on prices to continue going up. Meanwhile, there's a Changpeng Zhao, who is a criminal who owns Binance. He's being sued by 1,700 British investors for at least £150 million. The claimants allege that Binance sold complex, leveraged crypto derivative products without proper UK regulatory authorization. Some investors say they lost tens of thousands of pounds. And the Financial Conduct Authority banned crypto derivatives for retail customers in 2021. And these products were allegedly promoted from late 2019, so it was before the rule came in. I'm a bit torn on this because I don't want these crypto fascists to get all this money and then start controlling the world. But at the same time, I think it's kind of funny that these dickheads put all their money into these fucking shitty fucking crypto scams and lost all their money. I just want to laugh in their stupid fucking faces, but now we're going to tie up time and expense of our overburdened courts, while some rich, nepo babies whinge about the money that they lost for being, through their own stupidity and arrogance. I say arrogance because a lot of them, you know what crypto bros are like, people who are really into crypto. They think they're the smartest fucking people in the room, and it's just embarrassing a lot of the time because it's like that arrogance that comes with actually not knowing what is going on. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to set up the Boba Fetty now, so if anyone wants to drop a Boba Fetty in the chat, that would be nice. Meanwhile, the Competition and Markets Authority have proposed allowing app developers to direct UK users to payments outside of Apple and Google stores. The aim is to cut fees and increase competition. Any fees charged by Apple or Google for allowing outside payments would need to be fair, reasonable, and lower than current App Store commissions. The current commissions can reach up to 30%. We were talking about this the other day. If someone gives a super chat via an iPhone, half of it will go to either Apple or Google or both, which is ridiculous. Revenge is best served cold. It is indeed. If you just want to send money to me, my PayPal's the best way to do it. Just at Graham David Hughes. Everything's at Graham David Hughes. Just put at Graham David Hughes. You'll be golden. You'll be golden. Pet theory. They think they would be forgiven by a man in a frock. Yeah. Then I'm fighting for my trans friends and allies, as everyone has the right to be whoever they want, regardless. Yeah. So long as it's not hurting anyone. I never understood the absolute obsession that people have about trans people and or gay people or people who like different types of music or different types of art or different. Who gives a fuck? People get just incredibly angry that people go and see some band that they fucking hate. Fine, do you know what? As long as I don't have to listen to it all the time. The time I get pissed off is when I'm kind of forced to listen to music I hate, because that pisses me off. Revenge is a dish best served cold and taped to a brick. Listen, the best revenge is a life well lived. Anyway, the Apple is saying outside payments could increase scams and weaken user protections. Come on. You shouldn't be able to do anything on this, on an Apple phone without Apple's permission. You shouldn't be able to download an app on an Apple phone without Apple's permission. So I'm sorry. It's up to Apple to keep a track of the fucking scams, and they can't say, "Oh, we need loads of money to do that." It's one of the richest companies in the world. It's okay. It's okay. Meanwhile, Trump's administration is expected not to extend the NAFTA, the replacement to NAFTA. It's called the USMCA trade agreement. I wanted them to go for the Canada, USA, Mexico, the CUM agreement, but they didn't go for that. USMCA replaced NAFTA, and it governs trade between the US, Mexico, and Canada. It's nearest neighbours. A refusal to extend would start a decade-long countdown towards a possible expiry of the deal in 2036. The three countries are due to review whether they want to extend the pact for another 16 years. The US wants tougher regional and US content rules for car production. Trump has already put tariffs on Canada and Mexico for auto parts, steel, aluminum, or aluminium, as we say. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum, she supports extending the pact, but meanwhile, Mark Carney says Canada's priority is to negotiate a new deal. So he doesn't want to extend the pact; he wants a new deal. So there you go. Meanwhile, in the EU, the biometric border checks, airlines and airports want the option to suspend the new EU biometric checks during peak summer travel, which I think the EU should allow, because otherwise it's going to be fucking crazy. The system requires non-EU travellers to register fingerprints and facial imagery. Greece has suspended biometric checks for British travellers until September. French police have temporarily suspended extra checks at Dover during busy periods. And Ursula von der Leyen has been asked to allow temporary suspensions during peak demand. Yes. Emergency contraception. There's a story about a survey found almost half of the UK public believe that emergency contraception is hard to access on Sundays, which is, nearly 2/3 said it would be hard to access after 10 p.m. Emergency contraception is currently available through pharmacies, sexual health clinics, GP surgeries, and NHS walk-in centres. But campaigners want oral emergency contraception reclassified so it can be sold in general shops, which I completely agree with. The proposed model would place it alongside products such as paracetamol, antihistamines, and the public support for the change was 61% overall and 75% amongst 18 to 34-year-olds. So this is something that is very, very, very well supported. Next up, we've got PMOS guidance. New draft guidance says up to 4 million UK women with irregular periods should be checked for polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome. This condition was previously called polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS. It's now called PMOS. Symptoms include irregular periods, absent periods, excess testosterone in ovaries with multiple follicles. Associated risks include type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, sleep apnea, fatty liver disease, and pregnancy complications. And NICE, who, the medicine regulator in this country, says diagnosis and treatments are currently inconsistent. And final guidance on this is due in December this year. But they are saying, this is a huge problem. Sexism in the medical profession never really has gone away, and women are too often dismissed by caregivers who, the GPs, etc. They'll say, "Oh, you just, have an aspirin. It's just your period. It's just this," and that's not great. There was a study into the accents of Manchester, and apparently the pronunciation of words like happy, baby, and city varies by class across Manchester. Now, this was a study into Manchester. I think you could do the same thing in Liverpool. I think that the North Liverpool accent is very different from the South Liverpool accent. If you go up north, it becomes a lot more nasal and a lot more that kind of like Hebrew, Arabic, German noise, which I hate. I really hate that noise. I don't like it. And I'm a Scouser and we talk like that. But yeah, generally speaking, people from the south of Liverpool, especially the older generation, they talk more like the Beatles, so it's more of a back of the throat kind of accent. That's some more of the old Liverpool accent, which is a bit close to Brummy, actually. It's why probably There's a bit of cross-pollination in the TV show Peaky Blinders between Birmingham and Liverpool. My old school was in Peaky Blinders. They used it for a building. I was watching it. It's like about halfway through season 4 or something, and I was like, "That's my school. That's my school." I couldn't believe it. It's my school in Liverpool. That was quite cool. But they were pretending it was in. They were pretending that it was in. What's it called? Birmingham. But yes, apparently working class speakers in Manchester were more likely to use an "eh" ending, whereas middle class speakers were more likely to use an "e" ending. So there you go. So researchers said some working class speech, this is in Manchester, have remained stable despite major changes in the cities. And working class South Asian speakers were more likely to use the "e" ending, sit-e, happy, baby, whereas working class speakers from other ethnic groups were more likely to use a happy, bebe, and siteh sound. Quite interesting. So yeah, but the South Asian speakers were more likely to use the "e" ending rather than working class black or white Mancunians who use the "eh" ending. Happy, bebe. So there you go. North Scousers are, Quanos explains a lot. Isn't the speak accent more like the North Liverpool accent, even though it's South Liverpool? It's because a lot of people were moved there when the new estates were built. Yeah. When a lot of people moved from Speak when the slum clearances took place in Liverpool, running up to the war and then after the war. Also see Skelmersdale as well. A lot of people moved out to Skelmersdale. Don't forget, like, the population of Liverpool halved after the 1960s. It was nearly a million. It was nearly a million people living in the city in like 1969, 1970. Liverpool was booming, and then it all went horribly wrong. Shipbuilding went away. All the docks got amalgamated just to a handful of docks that were left, and there was the people just didn't have jobs, so they left. Aldi in Prestwich still has the Alde sign up. Alde. Morning. I hope you're all well. This planet seems to be getting hotter. Not good, says Plum. Yes. The temperature of the water in the sea in June, highest on record. In the ocean, in the Atlantic Ocean, highest on record. And it's only June. Well, now it's July, so happy new month, everyone. There's a story about the Paramount Warner takeover. I don't know if we mentioned this yesterday, but the UK may intervene in Paramount. Skydance's proposed 110 billion takeover of Warner Brothers Discovery. The deal has been cleared in the US, China, Canada, Australia, Germany, France, and Saudi Arabia. But UK regulators are reviewing whether the deal needs a deeper investigation. A decision is due by the 7th of August. And the combined Paramount and HBO Max on-demand reach in the UK could be around 19% of the population. So that's a bit fucking crazy. Meanwhile, major UK house builders face potential multi-billion-pound class action over alleged anti-competitive conduct. This claim includes companies such as Barratt, Redrow, Taylor Wimpey, Bellway, Berkeley, Persimmon, Vistry, and Countryside Partnerships. The claim covers more than 700,000 people who bought new build homes in Britain between October 2015 and the 24th of June 2026. Estimated compensation ranges from 2.2 billion to 4.5 billion. The claim alleges sensitive commercial information was shared on prices, incentives, and sale activities. Anti-competitive conduct, my friends. Anti-competitive conduct. Alde since Eaton Park Oasis. I grew up in Romilly in South Greater Manchester, quite a posh rural village, but in a Manchester Overspill council estate. So the accent is a mix of posh Manchester, Chester, and Gorton, Salford, inner city Manc accents, e.g. Will Meller. I can't see MCR without thinking of My Chemical Romance, who played Anfield last night, I think, didn't they? Plum, but we are, but at least 2 of us have been replaced by evil space robots. Those evil-natured robots, they're programmed to destroy us. We've got to be strong to fight them. That's why she's taken all the vitamins. because she knows that it'll be tragic if those evil robots win. And I know that she can defeat them. Oh, Yoshimi. Anyway, so she can beat them. Not defeat them. She can beat them. Oh, Yoshimi. Foreign takeover bids for UK companies reach more than £231 billion so far this year. That's up 210% compared to the same point last year. The recent targets include Intertek, Schroders, Tate & Lyle, and Unilever's food business. Intertek has agreed to a £9.4 billion takeover by private equity group EQT. Cheap UK share prices are one reason why foreign buyers are moving in. And I think the government needs to stop this from happening. I don't want to sound like a bit of a, oh, that's ours, go and fuck off. But, oh, that's ours. Fuck off. Anyway, so yeah. Meanwhile, in Myanmar, the government is preparing to restart the $3.6 million Myeot Dam project. It's a China-backed hydroelectric project in Kachin State. The project was suspended in 2011 after public opposition. The dam would generate around 6 gigawatts of power. The original plan would export 90% of the electricity to China. The government is saying it is considering local concerns about flooding and displacement. There's a big row brewing in Spain about citizenship. We've mentioned this before. Around 544,000 people have been granted citizenship under the law, as they have brought the citizenship law for descendants of exiles, and it's triggered a dispute over overseas voting. The law covers descendants of people who were exiled or persecuted during the Civil War and Franco's dictatorship. It also covers women who lost Spanish citizenship after marrying foreigners during the Franco era. Right-wing parties have alleged electoral manipulation with that. Of course they have, without any evidence, whereas Pedro Sanchez has rejected that accusation. Meanwhile, in Turkey, NATO leaders are due to meet in Ankara on the 7th and 8th of July, so next week. Turkey's human rights record is not expected to be the main focus, but maybe it should be. But obviously they're going to be talking about Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and the critics have said that that's reduced pressure on Turkey having to get better democratic standards. Meanwhile, the opposition Republican People's Party, or CHP, has faced a major crackdown by Erdogan's government, and the Istanbul mayor, Ekrem İmamoğlu, has been jailed, and he's seen as Erdogan's main political rival. So not great by any stretch of the imagination. But I was new. So there was also a new wind farm coming online. No, not the Dogger Bank one. Hornsea. Zone 3 is nearing its completion. It should be ready. It should be completed in 2027. But over the next few months, we'll be seeing the turbines coming on. So it's not going to be like suddenly they just press a button and it's turned on. But what it will do is eventually get us up to, combined with the new turbines further north in the Dogger Bank. There's three turbine areas that are coming online there, plus Hornsea number 3, and that together is going to produce 9% of the energy of the entire country. And there's still more coming online. It is going to be fucking crazy. So yeah, though sorry, it's Hornsey 2. Hornsey 2, is it? But yeah, that is a lot. Dogger Bank alone will generate approximately 18,000 gigawatt hours of electricity each year. And that equates to 18 terawatt hours per year. Obviously, because 1,000 gigawatts is a terawatt. So yeah, that means that they should be able to. Meanwhile, this other bank is going to be producing roughly 5,200 gigawatt hours, so 6,000 from Dogger Bank, 5,250. This is going to be huge. This is going to be absolutely huge. A step in the right direction, and hopefully we're also seeing there's a new you were talked before about the best way to store energy. It's not actually batteries, because then you have to get rare earth materials and put them all together, and it's quite dangerous because they can explode and stuff like that. The easy way to do it, and they're doing this up in Scotland now, is to have a reservoir which is high up, and then when you have extra power, excess power during the day, you use pumps to pump up to a higher level, and we've been doing. Do you know what we've been doing this to generate power for way over 100 years now. This isn't a new way to generate power or store power. You store it in the water, and then you have a dam, and the water goes through the dam, down, turns turbines, and creates electricity. So that there's projects getting up and running in Scotland as well. And the country's getting rewired at the cost of like £90 billion over several years. It's not all going to be done at once, but fucking worth it. Absolutely worth it. Get us off this oil. And I'm sick of hearing this argument that, why don't other countries do something about it? Why is it always us? First of all, right, I don't give a fuck what other countries are doing. We used to lead the world. CFCs, we led the world in the worldwide banning of CFCs. We led the world on that, right? And secondly, I don't give a fuck about, again, what other countries are doing, because I want cheaper bills. All our bills are going up today. All our energy bills are going up today, because the energy price cap has gone up, and we are still beholden to gas. Even on days where gas is only 3% of the energy mix, that still controls what the price is. And it's very frustrating that the government haven't found a way to uncouple the price of gas from renewables. Maybe they can't do it at the moment, but maybe next year they should be able to do it, where they can start getting the generation that they need. There is some Chinese battery tech, including iron and sodium, that are far cheaper, less rare earths. Yeah, but I mean, just pump the water up to the top of the hill. It's fine. Hate DM. What Danger Mouse? What's Danger Mouse ever done to you? The Baron Green back in the chat there. Anyway, so we're going to go over to the papers now, if you will indulge me for a moment. And like I say, I'm going to wrap up at 10:30 today, because I've got shit to do. I've got to get packing. I've got to do stuff. I'm heading over to Liverpool at some point. So I'll be transmitting from Liverpool for the rest of the week. Not going to be able to do PMQs today. Sorry about that, but I will try and set things up. Hang on. Let me just put a fucking thing in my phone, so I remember, because otherwise I will forget, because I'm an idiot like that. 11. I'm just putting an alarm in my phone. Oh. I typed in PMNQs instead of PMQs, so I had to delete it, obviously, because even though I'll know what it means, and it's just a message for me to remind me about doing PMQs. I'll just get it running. I'll just get it up and running on here, and I'm just going to leave it to run until I get back. So, I mean, you can keep watching the Parliament channel if you want. Who is the boss of Ofgen? I don't know. Farage reminds me of Chaz in Take Heart. That Morph's friend Chaz. Ofgem has basically protected the energy supply by shunting the increased wholesale costs into the customer with this 13% price increase. I know, it's fucking disgraceful. The Electric Mountain, John Wigg power station, where G's girl crush Carol Vorman works as an engineer. Yes, it's true. That at least Xi'an has been given the boot now at the large flagship BHV department store in downtown Paris. That's good. DN the Daily. I know, I was joking. I knew it stood for. Or did I? Or did I know? Did I? Did I? Did I? Did I die? Did I? Some dude called Tim Jarvis. The Daily Bile. The Daily Bile. Right, let's have a look at what's going on. Thomas Tuchel there saying, I doubted I was good for enough England. Tuchel can't play that game. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Don't care. Starmer leaves £5 billion defence black hole. But Burnham handed delayed action poison pill as spending is pushed to next budget. Dun dun dun. Serena Williams there, returning to Wimbledon at the age of 44. 44 she is. She's still playing Wimbledon. What a woman. Oxbridge diversity plans to exclude white working class. White working class students are excluded from almost all Oxbridge diversity scholarships, analysis of the Telegraph has found. Doesn't surprise me. Axel Springer completes Telegraph takeover. The Telegraph is at last secure under the ambitious ownership of Axel Springer, beginning to a new era of the start of its 172nd year. Shit it. I'll just shut it down. I don't care how long it's been going for. It's a fucking sewer. But it's owned now by a German. This is the newspaper. This is the broadsheet that campaigned against Brexit. Campaigned against people in Europe telling us what to do. How's that going for you, Telegraph, eh? Okay, so UK families hit by biggest global drop in wealth. British families have suffered the biggest fall in wealth in the rich world since the pandemic. Doesn't surprise me because of Farage and his mate stealing all the money. We've got suspected Ebola case in hospital in Glasgow. We've got Iran clerics call for Trump's assassination. I mean, I think a lot of people have called for his assassination, so I wouldn't necessarily single them out. So we're going to go to the Times now. The migrants can't avoid deportation by having families after arrival, and then we've got. Excuse me, I've got something to do here. One moment, my friends. You just wait there. You just wait there, looking cute and endearing. Bollocks. Right, here we go. Okie dokie, there we go. That's beautiful. Sorry, I'm sparing you from having to gaze upon the face of a turf. There we go. Okay, where was I? I was here. There you go. Sorted that for you. There's some clown there. Don't know who it is. And she's standing there next to the Queen for some reason. I don't know why, but she's the Queen. She wasn't going to be the Queen, but then she was the Queen. And everyone's like, okay. Starmer puts Burnham in £5 billion defence black hole. PM in waiting must raise taxes or cut spending. And the number of billionaires soars thanks to boom in AI. Yes. Billionaires make more money. The rest of us, we're fact, mate. We're fact. We're fact. Anyway, so on to the next paper now, and we will have the Guardian. Let's have the Guardian, which has Bowie on the front cover, which is nice. Always nice to have a little bit of Bowie there. David Bowie is like, oh, you pretty things. Anyway, we've also got cyan, magenta, yellow written up at the top. Oh, you can't see that because the Hughes the Well thing's covering it, but it's at the top. Haaland fires Norway past Cote d'Ivoire into last 16. We've got PM's defence funding plan leaves Burnham with £5 billion hole to plug. We've already discussed that. Birthright citizenship upheld by US justices. And no fairy tale Williams loses comeback match at Wimbledon. And, I know that I shouldn't think this, but if I was a child, I would totally draw a big cock on that. I shouldn't even be saying this, but, if I was a child, which I'm not, but definitely a bit of graffiti there wouldn't go amiss for shit and giggles. And then you've got academy leaders to get pay gap of £174,000, which I discussed on the show today already. Why is Starmer doing this? He's purposely sabotaging Burnham. Well, yeah, I think so. I don't know. Putin admits Russia is facing problems in Ukraine war. Is he finally cracking? I don't know. Katie Swan halts British exodus from Wimbledon. The 27-year-old making her first tournament appearance in 3 years is through to the second round. Unlike every other British player who has gone. Starmer's defence plan leaves Britain unprepared for war. Zakia pledges £15 billion rise in military spending as clock ticks on his departure, but ex-Defence Secretary Healey says it's not enough and it leaves the UK unsafe. Of course he's going to say that because, it's his department. He wants as much money as possible. But you've got to make a decision. Anyway, should we see what the Star's going on about today? What is the Star going on about? Oh, no, sorry, not the Star, the Express. It's still stupid. The Labour blasted for prioritising benefits and leaving £5 billion budget black hole. PM still puts welfare ahead of defence boost. Come right in. Listen. 58% of the money that is spent on welfare in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland is spent on fucking pensions. So if you want to reduce the bill, what you need to do is stop giving pensioners so much money. You up for that, pensioners? You up for ending the triple lock? You up for us taking away the winter fuel allowance? Because we don't get it. There's people earning less who are working 90 hours a week, earning less than a pensioner who is on like £30,000 a year. And the worker's only on £27,000 a year. And the pensioner gets the winter fuel allowance. The worker doesn't. Make it make sense. Anyway, sorry, right, okay. Sorry, I was a bit close to the screen there. Serena's comeback ends in disappointing loss. So Serena Williams not doing so well at Wimbledon, but then she is 44 years old. So we've got Starmer's gift to Burnham. £4.7 billion black hole in the first budget to fund war plan. 4 Brits apparently got through in Wimbledon, according to this one. James O'Brien, how Farage and the far right and the right wing, are deceiving voters, and it's working. It absolutely is. Trump seems to get around Supreme Court defeat on birthright citizenship. We've mentioned that. And the real problem with Lily Allen's live show, I don't know what the real problem is. Are you interested? Should we look inside to find out? No, we won't, because it's boring. Okay, we've got 1 minute left of the show. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna end the goal, because I don't think we're gonna get 5 super chats in a minute. So I'm gonna remove that goal, and what I'm gonna do is start another goal, and it's just gonna be 1 super chat, and you will get a Boba Fetty. Okay, 1 super chat, Boba Fetty. So if someone wants to drop a super chat in, we will have a Boba Fetty before the end of the show. Okay, Financial Times. Europe's rearmament is sustaining 195,000 US defense job. What it says. NATO boss hails $300 billion of orders. Economic case to keep Trump on side. Industry urged to lift output. Briefing here in brief. Burnham aide O'Neill warns over business taxes. Lord Jim O'Neill, a former Goldman Sachs economist who is advising number 10 hopeful Andy Burnham, has warned against further taxes on businesses. Yeah, I don't want taxes on business. I want taxes on individuals who've got too much fucking money. Shetland Tunnel Plan. Exciting stuff about them making 4 tunnels. 4 tunnels. You have no tunnels and then 4 come at once. 4 tunnels connecting Shetland with the mainland. And then we've got Schroders Nears unit sale. We've got Barclays buy head office. We've got Top Court blocks Trump to do it birthright citizenship. We've got AI job cull forecasts defied. Business investing most heavily in the technology have added workers faster than their peers. So this idea that AI is going to come and take our jobs, it's bollocks. Hunt for Monaco bomber. The police are looking for a suspected bomber after a Ukrainian tycoon was injured in an attack. We mentioned this yesterday. In the rich Mediterranean principality known for yachts, Grand Prix, and the magnet for the wealthy. Talking the wealthy, Farage's payment for promoting gold dealer doubles to £22,500 per hour. That is more than I earn in a year. Fucking unbelievable. But, do you know what's awesome? Saz has put £2 in the super chat fund towards my £22,500 a year, and that allows me to press the magic button to release the Oh no, hang on. No, not the confetti. Better than that. Boba Fetty! Yes! Boba Fetty! We're doing the Boba Fetty thing. He's no use to be dead. Okay, China's urban castaways seek peace in ghost cities. A band of urban castaways is turning history's biggest building spree into an experiment on empty city living. People are moving to the city to get away from everyone. These empty cities, they're moving to the empty cities to get away from everyone, which is fair enough. We got Boba Fetty, yay! And then let's just about round up. Back. Finally, we have the Metro here. The Metro. We'll fade that in. I quite like that, actually. I may start doing it like that in future. Instead of scroll up and down, because it's not like I can see it anyway. It's usually too low res. Britain needs you, ... to Q. Starmer reveals his long-awaited defence spending plan, including new nuke warhead. But jam-busting road projects will have to be sacrificed to free up cash for UK's war readiness. Your country needs you. There's in the pointing there. Their little fingers. The little thing. Anyway, fastest fingers first. How are you all doing? Are you all right? We're out the other side. We're out the other side. We've emerged from the paper zone. Now I can say thank you very much for watching. I'm going to get out of here now. 4 minutes over. That's all right. I was a few minutes late getting started because I was trying to finish chewing all the food I had in my mouth. I came in. I was like, like a squirrel when it's got its nuts in its. Is it a squirrel? Puts all the nuts in its cheeks and it's got like this puffed out. I was like that, trying to just eat really quickly before I started the show. I assume the Russians have neutron bombs. We need our own missiles, renting and an unreliable supplier is a bad idea. Yes, talking about America. Unreliable. Okay, my friends. Like I say, I'm going to just put the channel on at midday for you to watch Parliament. And you can just watch that to your heart's content. And until then, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen this morning, just going through the news headlines and talking about what's going on, having a chat in the chat, subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and hit the bell notification icon so you know when we're going to go live next. And until then, I just want to say thank you for being awesome. Thank you for being absolutely incredible and awesome. And whatever you do with the rest of the day, I hope it is fun. And until we meet again, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.